Hey everybody, welcome back to another EmpowerUP video here with the promotional team. I'm Easton.
I'm Brian.
And we are here to talk a little bit about mental health. We are here with Meredith. Meredith, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Meredith. I'm a fourth year student at Michigan Tech. I'm also in the business department, just like you two, and I work for the Center for Student Mental Health and Wellbeing as a senior peer health ambassador. So I represent our campus at various things across the state, and then I do a lot of programming for students on campus.
Awesome. So how important do you think mental health is for students?
I think it's extremely important. There's a lot of research to suggest that there's a positive correlation between good mental health and a higher GPA. There's also a correlation between colleges and universities retaining their students better than others when they do focus on mental health and well-being initiatives. There's so much associated with feeling a sense of belonging and connection to your community that goes into a person's mental health. And so when you foster that and you create programs to support that in a college setting, especially for young adults who may or may not be away from home for the first time, they're navigating a lot of challenges on their own. So just being mindful of that as a community and as a campus and putting those supports in place, it can make not only your community so much more resilient, but it can also ensure that you're retaining quality individuals and supporting them to being kind of on to that next phase of life after college. So.
Alright. What are some of the main causes of distress for college students?
I think the ones, and I'm speaking from my own perspective, right, as a student who works in mental health on a campus, what I see a lot of the times is the isolation that often comes with college, because while you are surrounded by people all the time, you're not necessarily always surrounded by your people all the time, right? Like your family, your friends from home. That's a hard adjustment for a lot of first year students. Another one I think is procrastination and burnout that catches up to students a lot. The workload, I think I hear from a lot of students, sometimes it's easier than high school was because you're not in class for 8 hours a day, but you actually have to learn how to be productive on your own and still manage your time. I think another really big challenge for students is relationship building. And building a support network. That's hard to do. Finding the people that you align with can be difficult when you're swept along into groups that maybe you wouldn't have hung out with prior to college. I think I hear a lot of the times my first year friends, they didn't end up being my forever friends, and people get shocked by that, I think. But it's true, because you're trying out different parts of your personality and you're trying out different things through college. So sometimes those relationships last and sometimes they don't. You're also navigating them all alone. So I guess in all of that, I think the biggest thing is just change. Change is really hard.
I definitely think that is a factor, even with me personally. 8 hours away, you only see your family a couple times with breaks, and it's so hard to travel back home. So I definitely do think that as a huge factor. So kind of on top of that, what are some ways college students can relieve that stress?
I think it's less about relieving stress and more about building capacity for resiliency. And I'm not trying to correct you as if that was a negative thing at all. Like, it definitely does present itself as stress a lot of the time. But I think learning how to manage your own schedules and habits and stuff. At the center, we use a framework called Be Well. So there's just 4 different parts to Be Well, which include connect well, recharge well, play well, and live well. And the idea is that when all 4 of those categories are well balanced, likely that student is living a pretty mentally resilient life. So in the lifestyle, in the live well category, you have things like using a task management tool and like Google Calendar, or like following up on appointments. In your play well category, it's making sure you make time for yourself and your friends and that kind of thing. And then recharging well. A lot of people, go to the bars to recharge well, right? But is that really the most productive way to recharge every time? Maybe not. So I think for college students, it's really just about imagining the life that you want to have and then taking the steps to achieve that. And a lot of the times it involves slowing down and reorienting your goals and your personal and professional goals, specifically in line with, how do I want my mental health to represent itself? Do I want it to be a constant state of burnout and stress all the time, or do I want to be mentally resilient? So, does that answer your question?
No, okay. I think that was way above what I asked. So that was perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got a question. If students don't want to come here for counseling, where else could they go?
I think it depends. Like, if you're comfortable with telehealth counseling, you might be able to meet with a counselor, like, in your community at home. And telehealth counseling is just meeting via video chat or via call. That can be hard in college just because you have to find a space that's private a lot of the time. So then you have to have conversations with your roommates about, hey, can you step out of my dorm room for this amount of time? Or you can use places like our center and the room that we're in now to have something like that. Otherwise, there are obviously in-person counselors in this area. One challenge at Tech is obviously we are a rural place, so we don't have the same mental health care supports that maybe a large urban area would have. But there are counseling options available here. You can talk to your local provider here if you have one. They'll normally send you to visit a counselor or something like that. Or you can just search online too for counselors.
Yeah, and so kind of with that, I know like maybe some students are a little bit nervous to come and like reach out and talk to a counselor. So what are some of the ways like maybe Michigan Tech, some counselors try making it like an open environment? Like, hey, you can trust us, you can talk to us. What are some of the ways that they kind of show that to the students?
Yeah, counseling can be so scary because you're definitely admitting that you need help. And I think people often think that saying I'm going to go to counseling means that there's something wrong with you.
Right.
And that's not at all what I personally think that counseling means. If you're taking advantage of counseling, you're actually trying to move yourself forward. You're being productive and you're recognizing that you can't do it all on your own. And so what we do at campus or on campus, we do events like cookies and coloring at the CDI where students can go and they can eat cookies with a counselor and our student staff. And do like adult coloring and like de-stress activities essentially. And you can have conversations with the counselor there about whether counseling is right for you or not, how to help a friend. We also have a similar version of that, but it's called Let's Talk. And you can visit like a Zoom link and just very informally talk to a counselor and just kind of test the waters, right? Like you're not committing yourself to anything, but you are understanding the process better. And really what you're asking about is how do we destigmatize mental health as a campus, I think. And so another way that we do that is the Green Bandana Project. I don't know if either one of you know what that is.
Could you explain that? Is that what that is right there?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Here, let me...
This was not planned.
If I can get it open, we'll be in good shape. But students have what are called green bandanas, and they tie them to their... Hopefully the camera can see that. They tie them to their backpacks or like their jackets or something.
I actually have seen that.
It's on my backpack right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And basically it means that this person understands that the Green Bandana Initiative is about destigmatizing mental health. So it's just essentially like a silent stigma-free sign that this person is a safe person if you are in a period of distress or like you need to talk to a friend. And it also means that that person is equipped with a resource card. So in the case that somebody comes up to me because they see that I have a green bandana, I can pull out a card and say, well, these are the options that I have, and this is where we can refer you, right? Because the person that's holding the green bandana, they're not obligated to be a counselor. That's not necessarily safe for the person who has the green bandana, nor is it safe for the person who's necessarily seeking help. Your role as a green bandana holder is just to be a de-escalator. You're silent, stigma-free ally for a person in a community. And I think it's just a really cool sign because you see people walking around with them all day and it's like, that's one person on this campus of 8,000 people that cares about me and how I'm doing. And if I really wanted to, I could talk to them about something.
No, that's awesome. Silent heroes all over.
Mm-hmm.
I know we kind of talked about this a bit, but if you don't get counseling in person, where else could you get counseling here at Michigan Tech?
At Michigan Tech, we also contract out to a telehealth provider. It's called TELUS, and that's an app-based counseling format. That's open 24/7, so I could access it at 3 a.m., I could access it at 12 p.m., which is a really great option for people who might find themselves in an unexpected mental health crisis, because that does happen sometimes. Triggers in our environment will cause us to react strongly, sometimes in ways that we didn't expect. So that's a great option. It's also great if you need to help a friend in a time of need and you don't know what to do, but Like I can take out the app and say, listen, we're going to sit you down and you can talk to a counselor because this isn't my area of expertise, but I'm going to sit here and empower you to take advantage of this resource. It also has multicultural matching on there, so people can talk to somebody who maybe looks like them, shares a similar identity, or they can speak to somebody in their own language as well. And again, so much of mental health has to do with cultivating a sense of belonging, and so I think that app really does a great job of that.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I get some people might not want to come in or like their face. They just want to text somebody, and
Right.
that's I think that's great for people who want to do that.
Yeah.
And so let's say I kind of wanted to get a counselor right now. What should I do? How can I get that? How can I get a counselor, get help? What are kind of those steps that somebody should take?
I think it depends on what you want. If you just want short-term solution-focused therapy and you want to do it in the telehealth format, TELUS is a great option. If you want to do in-person counseling with our center, you can use the MTU Counseling Center's online scheduling portal. And that you can schedule an appointment at any time. There are some caveats due to confidentiality. Obviously, we don't want anybody stealing your health data or anything like that. So you do have to make that appointment while you're on campus Wi-Fi and you're wired into a campus computer and everything like that. So that does present a constraint. The other option, though, is that in the case that you can't be on a campus computer, you can just email counseling@mtu.edu. And Austin, assuming somebody's watching this in 2023, he's our current front desk and office manager, and so he'll be able to help you out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was really great talking with you. I think now we know, and everybody else who can watch this now knows a little bit more about what Michigan Tech does to kind of help these students, and that there are steps you can do, things you can put into your life that can help you get through some tough times. And so I think that's great for anybody out there looking for help or just kind of need somebody to talk to. So I think that's really great. Thank you for talking with us.
Of course, I think I just want everybody to take away from it that as a student you're not alone ever, and it's really scary to ask for help, but there is help available. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Meredith.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.